What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Today is going to be episode number 11. And today a few days ago, I received a Facebook message, and I thought it'd be very, very important to discuss this. I really want to give my 2 cents on this because it's something that comes up over and over again. And I want to make sure that you don't feel like you're alone. So I'm going to read the Facebook message. And as always, I'll give my 2 cents. If you have any questions, if you want any advice, if you want anything answered by me whatsoever, 2 options. As always, you can DM me on my personal Instagram, AND_REID. DM me on the PA Boards Instagram, PABOARDS, or shoot me an email at andrew@physicianassistantboards.com. My inbox is flooding up. I'm not able to respond to everybody as quickly as I'd like, but just know that if you send a message, I have it, and I'm going to get to it as soon as I possibly can. So let's start off with today's Facebook message. And this person says, "Hello, hoping you're well." Sorry for that weird hello. Hello, hoping you're well. First off, thank you for being the best resource out there. You're amazing. Disclaimer, I promise this is not the reason why I chose this message to address, but thank you very much for those kind words. She goes on to say, "I was wondering if you had any advice on keeping your head up as didactic year tries to drown you. I'm currently in my 2nd semester, started rotations in May, and it's even harder than the first. Makes me want to find whoever said this semester should be easier and give them a piece of my mind. Haha, how do I make this easier? Will clinicals be just as hard? Why do I feel so unprepared? Thank you again for your guidance. I am truly appreciative." All right, so from what I gather, it sounds like you are entering your 2nd semester in school, which would be your didactic year, which is still your 1st year. Couple of things here. Yes, it's completely normal to feel this way. And yes, you are not the only person to feel this way. And yes, your classmates feel this way. They probably aren't vocalizing it. And no, just because you feel this way doesn't mean you're going to be a poor clinician or you're going to be unprepared. And the short answer, are clinical is going to be this hard? Maybe. It's different. So let's back up a second, right? You're starting off in PA school. You're a student. A couple of things are going to be very difficult for you. One is the studying. You have no idea what works because what worked in undergrad is not going to work here. There's just simply too much information for you to be able to use the exact same strategies, techniques, hacks, whatever you want to call them in undergrad, and you can't apply them to PA school. I made the mistake as a student. I used flashcards. I used flashcards in undergrad, and I thought they were great, right? I used them in anatomy, and I was able to take my notes, write my flashcards, study, and review. But there's just so much information in medicine that if you try to go that route, you're not going to have enough time to actually study once you're finished doing the flashcards, and that's what happened to me. You have to readjust, you have to pivot, you have to adapt. You can't, like they say, right? What got you here won't get you there. It's time to change up your strategies because there's just too much information to digest. So that's number 1, is you don't know how to study. You don't know what works and what doesn't work because you haven't had enough time to actually test things out. The problem is, by the time you actually figure this out, you're going to be onto rotations. And rotations is a completely different animal than didactic year. And yes, it might be a little bit harder. It's just going to be different because you're exercising a different part of your brain that you weren't really exercising during didactic year. Having a test in front of you is actually quite easy compared to the real world because you're given everything up front. You're giving all the pieces to the puzzle, and all you have to do is put it together. In the real world, you have to find those pieces, and then you have to put it together. If you don't know what you're looking for, you won't find it. And that's the problem we run into. You have a lack of knowledge. You don't know what you don't know. And therefore, you're going to misdiagnose or you're not going to be able to even give a diagnosis in the first place because you lack the pieces to the puzzle. You have an incomplete puzzle when you're in clinicals as a student. So it's different. And this is what makes didactic year easy. This is what makes test taking easy. But it's easy relative to clinicals in real life. When you're living through the moment, it's still difficult. It's still a difficult task to have an exam in front of you and to have didactics. It's all relative. What I don't want you to do is to beat yourself down. What I don't want you to do is feel like you're alone. I get emails and messages like this all the time. About 75% of your classmates are probably feeling the same things, even if they aren't vocalizing it. It's not abnormal to go through this. And just because you feel overwhelmed, just because you feel underprepared, it doesn't mean that you're going to be a bad clinician, and it's in no way a predictor as to how well you will do in clinical rotations. It's normal to feel this, but don't give up. The more you learn, the more time you put in, the more work you put in, little by little, you'll start assembling knowledge. Little by little, you'll remember a piece from a lecture there. You'll remember reading an article here. You'll remember seeing a patient there. And little by little, you'll start storing these pieces of information in your brain. And before you know it, you will become knowledgeable. It won't happen overnight. It won't happen in the next month. But over time, you'll slowly start to build a base on top of what you already have. And you'll look back in 5, 10, 15 years and realize, holy shit, look, it's stuck, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to strive to just learn more and more every day. You will never know it all, and that's a big mistake. Don't look too far ahead, because that can definitely be overwhelming. Don't look at how much I have to learn, because that can be overwhelming. One step at a time, little by little. Don't worry about clinicals if it's still a year away. Don't worry about being in practice if that's still 2 years away. Focus with the task that you have in front of you. And then once you conquer that, move on to the next. You'll be fine, I promise. All right, so that concludes today's video. If there's anybody that you know that feels this way or is concerned about this, please share this with them. If you found any value in this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. This really helps bring awareness to the channel. And I want to continue to do this. I want to continue to interact with you. It's honestly been a lot of fun with this little experiment that we started about 3 weeks ago. Gonna commit to the month, like I said, and then I'd love to hear some feedback as to how we can make this better. So that concludes today's video. If you have any questions or want any advice, please either shoot me a DM on my personal Instagram, AND_REID, or on the PA Boards Instagram, that's PABOARDS. Or as always, you can email me, Andrew@physicianassistantboards.com. I'm truly appreciative for you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll chat with you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye.